Hey, future billionaires! Today I'm going to share another inspiring story that can help you take a major step on the path to success. Once upon a time, there was a story about a king. Before going on a trip, the king gave 3 of his servants 1 silver coin each. He told them to use the coins to do business and meet him again when he came back. A week later, the king returned. The first servant said, "Your Majesty, I used the coin you gave me and earned 10 more." The king was happy and rewarded him with 10 houses. The second servant said, "Your Majesty, I earned 5 coins with the one you gave me." The king smiled and rewarded him with 5 houses. Then the third servant said, "Your Majesty, I was scared I might lose the coin, so I wrapped it up and kept it safe. I didn't use it at all." Hearing this, the king gave the third servant's coin to the first servant. He said, "Those who have little will lose even what they have, but those who have a lot will get even more. Let them make the most of it." And that's the Matthew effect in psychology. In our daily lives, there are many examples of the Matthew effect. For instance, people with lots of friends tend to meet and socialize more, making even more friends. Meanwhile, those with few friends often stay lonely. Famous people and unknown individuals might achieve the same results, but it's the famous ones who get praised by their superiors, interviewed by reporters, and surrounded by fans seeking advice or inspiration. When it comes to money, it's even more obvious. The rich seem to get richer. They have mansions, sports cars, and beautiful partners. On the other hand, the poor often struggle to save, barely making ends meet. This happens because the wealthy often have access to better education and opportunities, while the poor lack these resources due to financial constraints. Over time, this gap widens, with the rich getting richer and the poor staying poor, a classic Matthew effect. The same thing happens between developed and underdeveloped regions. Talented people tend to move to developed areas, resources are transferred there at low costs, and their systems are usually more efficient. This cycle repeats, making the gap between regions grow even wider. So does this mean that if I'm poor now, I'll always stay poor? There's a movie called The £1 Million Note that gives us great insight into the Matthew effect. The story is about 2 wealthy brothers who withdraw a £1 million banknote from the bank. They make a bet to test what would happen if a poor man received such an enormous amount. The older brother believes the note would be useless to a poor man, and he would remain destitute. The younger brother, on the other hand, thinks it would help the man escape poverty and lead a prosperous life. To settle their argument, they hand the £1 million note to a struggling American named Henry Adams and strike a deal with him. For 1 month, Adams can use the note as he pleases, but he must return it intact after the month ends. At the core, the banknote is just a symbol. At first, Adams was treated poorly because of his shabby clothes when he went out to eat, shop, or stroll around. But as soon as he revealed the £1 million note, people's attitudes completely changed. They showered him with hospitality, even waiving his expenses, because they assumed he was a wealthy man. After all, no one could provide change for a £1 million note. Before long, newspapers reported that a mysterious millionaire with eccentric attire was spotted in England. Adams became the talk of high society. Dukes, merchants, and socialites scrambled to befriend him, and young women competed fiercely for his attention. In just a week, Adams became a household name in Britain. Initially, Adams only used the note as a guarantee for credit, similar to how high-net-worth individuals qualify for premium credit cards. But he knew this illusion couldn't last forever. Smartly, he leveraged the reputation and influence he had gained. First, he took over a mining business from a friend who was in financial trouble and made his first fortune. Then, using his knowledge of the stock market, he guided investments and earned real wealth. Importantly, there was no insider trading or foul play involved, just clever use of opportunities and resources. In the movie, Adams gained the leverage to navigate the business world because of the £1 million note. Similarly, in real life, many successful entrepreneurs owe part of their success to favorable starting conditions. This often leads people in tough situations to blame their failures on a lack of help or starting capital. But if we look closer at the details of the story, there's something deeper at play. Mark Twain, the author, gave Adams a specific background. He was an experienced stockbroker. When he met the wealthy brothers, Adams introduced himself like this: "I was working for a mining broker in San Francisco, learning the ins and outs of the stock exchange. I'm a seasoned survivor. My only assets are my intelligence and integrity." Without this background, it's hard to imagine a random drifter with no financial knowledge making the same use of the £1 million note. Even with the money, Someone without skills might not know what to do with it. In business, starting capital is essential, but it's not everything. Without ability or knowledge, even if someone hands you your first pot of gold, you might waste it. Many people who fail in business didn't lack capital. They just turned gold into silver through poor decisions. As the saying goes, pitiful people often have reasons to be disliked. It's like Newton and the apple. When it fell on his head, he discovered the law of gravity. For someone else, it might have just caused a bump. Opportunities are important, but being prepared for them matters more. The foundation you build before the opportunity comes is what really counts. This is what we need to focus on right now. The truth is, most people lack the persistence needed to truly improve themselves. The Matthew effect often becomes an excuse to avoid reality and hard work. But instead of complaining or envying the strong, we should learn from their successes. Your mindset shapes your life. With the right direction and relentless effort, anyone can rise from behind and succeed. To wrap up, the story of the £1,000,000 note and the concept of the Matthew effect teach us an important lesson. While opportunities and starting conditions matter, what truly defines success is how prepared we are to seize those opportunities. Skills, knowledge, and perseverance play a far greater role than simply blaming circumstances or envying others. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we should work on building a strong foundation, learning from successful people, and staying resilient. With the right mindset and effort, we can turn opportunities into lasting success, no matter where we start. And that's it for today's story. Remember, life's challenges aren't just about where you start. They're about how you rise. Opportunities are everywhere, but the key is being ready when they come. So let's stop making excuses, start learning, and keep pushing forward. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and life lessons. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.